Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Muslim Teens, Deen, and everything in between.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, everybody. We're so happy to bring the second episode of the podcast. I want to reiterate, this is a new show. This is a podcast, Muslim Teens and Everything in Between. It's no longer Alia's show. She has her own show. She renamed it, and it's called the Muslim Career Guide. So, welcome. This is the second episode of the Muslim Teens, Deen, and Everything in Between podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a special topic. Because it's Ramadan, we kind of want to talk about the topic for today is what is the point of Ramadan? What is the point of it? So let's get started. So first thing I want to ask you guys is has anybody ever asked you, for like example in school, why you fast? Is it
Yeah, so
done
like every year it's the same question.
every?
Like peers, uh, other friends of yours, teachers, adults, everybody, they ask you, oh, why can't you eat? Why can't you drink? And then you go into an explanation, and it's complicated. It's complicated because then they don't understand because there's such a deep meaning behind it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Is there anybody else? I know most of us live in non-Muslim countries. What about you, Imran? How about you?
No, despite me living in a Christian country, still no, because my school is like 95% Muslim,
Oh, that's interesting. 'Cause you're
and the others don't bother to ask.
right, and you're from the UK as well, right, Imran?
Yeah, I'm from the UK.
Yeah. Okay. So your school's 95% Muslim. That's interesting. So you don't really have to worry about people asking you what fasting is about. I know me personally. I've been asked a couple times. Um, I've heard people ask in my school a couple times about why people fast, and they've all given interesting answers. One person I heard gave the answer that it's for, it's to see how the poor people feel like, or some people also always say, oh, it's healthy. Has anybody else had a different experience of fun? Maybe have you had a similar experience?
Yeah, so usually, I mean, people usually ask some of the other students who fast. There's not very many Muslims in my school, though, in my grade at least. And then the answer that I've seen that they usually give is what you just said, like it's healthy and it's to feel how the poor feel.
Yeah, is that a common thing for all of you people? For everybody here, is it all? Do people always say it's to see what the poor people feel like? Because I think that's like the most popular answer.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
do it. People say it's
I
to
agree.
show empathy
Yeah.
and stuff, but and I it sure, but the teacher, like a lot of teachers, they also think of it as a challenge, you know. They're like, it's challenging, it's stuff like that. And I actually have a story about that. So this was in my grade 7 year,
Right.
and uh, we're all in class, and it was the first or second day of Ramadan, so not everybody knew that it had begun yet, right? Since it's not Canada's not like fully Muslim, it's not a fully Muslim country, so not like there's no announcements and stuff. Oh, Ramadan has begun, but uh, we were going for lunch, and the teacher asked everybody, "What are you having for lunch?" It was like 5 minutes before break time. And I answered, "Oh, nothing. I'm fasting today." And he's like, "Fasting? So what do you do in that? Aren't you allowed to eat or anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm not allowed to eat or drink in the month of Ramadan." He's like, "Oh, the whole month? You can't eat or drink in the whole month?" And he was joking, but still, that question is like, who can go a whole month without?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Exactly.
we can eat
Uh,
before sunrise
yeah.
and after sunset. So it was like, you know what, everybody, we should all do this. I challenge everybody, not me, it was the teacher. He was like, I challenge everybody here to fast tomorrow. And most people did fast tomorrow, but it was really interesting to see people try and then fail, especially since we had gym class and all that. Everybody was dehydrated. It was the most interesting gym class ever, because usually everybody's ecstatic and all that, but this time everybody's like, oh, it's gym class. And the teacher, he almost made it through the whole day, But he said when he got home, he was getting his food ready for after sunset,
Hmm.
sunset, and he said it looked so good, and he just ate it like 10-15 minutes before sunset, and it was funny. Nobody made it though. So
Yeah. I found it interesting how you said there's some people I know some people always are so confused. They say you don't eat anything for 30
yeah,
days straight, and it's always funny to see their reaction whenever they think that, and you have to explain to them, no, it's like it's only from sunrise to sunset. But yeah, that's a really interesting story. So you said that every single person in your class, or well, most people in your class, tried.
yeah, most people did. People that had permission from their parents or stuff, because it is a religious practice, right? And there are other communities
Right, right.
that are like, oh, we're not gonna fast. So
So how many people made it though?
how
Of
many people?
uh
Like I think it was like 2, 3 other kids, including me, because I was fasting anyway. But it was like 2, 3 other kids who had fasted before because it's related to their religion, but it's not exactly the same because fasting is different in different religions. But yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Has anybody else have like an interesting story as well related to that? No? Okay. Well, yeah, that's really amazing. I actually saw a video of a guy. He was, it's a non-Muslim guy. I think he lived in the UK, and he tried to, I think he went 7 days, 7 days during Ramadan fasting with his friend, and yeah, it was actually really interesting. His video. Maybe you can check it out. Maybe I can find it for you guys. But yeah, so yeah, what we discussed is that a lot of times, when people think of Ramadan and you ask them why do they fast, they say one, because it's healthy. Another popular answer is it's to see how the poor people feel like. And it's also it's like it's really good for your mind and your body. It kind of like clears your mind and stuff like that. Those are kind of like some common answers that people have for why they fast during Ramadan.
Mhm.
But those aren't actually the real reasons why Muslims fast during Ramadan. The real reason why Muslims fast during Ramadan is not kind of, it's to revive your Islamic spirit in a way. It's a time where you get to reconnect with Allah and gain taqwa, gain the consciousness of Allah. It's a time where you can do good deeds. You can feed neighbors and the poor, and give charity. That's the real reason why Muslims fast.
Yeah, once you get your engine going in Ramadan, it helps you throughout the year because you finally get that feeling that you're doing it. And when you get that feeling in the month of Ramadan, where you have to do stuff like this, since it is Ramadan, the rest of the year you can use that month as a model, like as a base. So it can really help because you're making a habit, right? So yeah, that it's really good to reset and all that.
Yeah. Like every Ramadan can be like is a kind of like a reset or like it's like a training. It's kind of like you revive your Islamic spirit every time Ramadan comes around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One thing could be like going to Tarawih prayers, right? It's
yeah,
not mandatory, but most people go. And once you go and do Tarawih, you get used to it. And then once Ramadan is over, maybe you start going for Isha prayer like every day. Because
yeah,
it's the same thing, right? Because you did it in Ramadan, so you keep the habit going and it won't feel like you're it won't feel like a burden. It'll have a smooth transition to the rest of the year.
exactly. Because a lot of people think that um, okay, so we have 30 days. This is the time when I'm going to read the Quran. This is the time I'm going to pray. I'm going to go to the masjid for Fajr every single day. I'm going to pray Tarawih every single day. I'm going to do all this good deeds. They do it for 30 days, and then they leave all of it the
Mhm.
next day. It's like the morning of Eid. Everything's finished. It's like you're not doing
Yeah,
anything.
and
But yeah, so I see that some of you are awfully quiet today. Ran is a fun. You guys have anything else to add?
Yeah, so basically Ramadan is the time that you build your foundation for the rest of the year, as Saad mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a foundation, exactly. All right. Well, it was great catching up with you guys and talking to you guys about Ramadan. Um, so unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. So Assalamu alaikum, everybody. See you guys next time on the Muslim Teens and Everything in Between podcast. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh.